And Abu Trica Lawyer add a little bit of information about case no ababeto abonten. Na case no chiremu Abu Trica and Frody ubia $8 million. Na case ni na the sum amount involved in this case is $50,000. Na enumpo ne enye sum amount of $50,000 ni na ekodi Abu Trica honom. Na evia undercover agent B ena eba Abu Trica honom. Ebe setting up say obe receive an amount of $50,000. Nanka ope US account a obe receive amount no. Na se Abu Trica ebo no man nsaka $50,000 amount na obe man a share of $13,000. Nti Abu Trica so eti ase ena okope account e de buy e mom de receive the same amount of $50,000. Nti amount a Abu Trica lawyer e chiremu a case we nyina e de buy $50,000. Nemum news I spread say Abu Trica afraid elderly people of $8 million ni na a false statement na enyo no kre. Nti mo aminkan de Abu Trica lawyer na twerɛ yen kyerem. O say 1. Abu Trica was set up by an FBI informant who approached him saying that he was expecting some $50,000 and that Abu Trica should help him find a bank account for them to transfer the money into. 2. His share will be $13,000 if he found an account. 3. Abu Trica went around asking different people because he thought he was making $13,000. Now Abu Trica nim say after the transaction no obenya $13,000 and then ma okochi ni pay account. Na enye say bi o account anase ni juma odi dara no. Someone gave him an account which he gave to the FBI undercover agents and he was paid $13,000. This is the entire evidence the FBI provided. When Abu was arrested, the FBI came to him to give them the name of the person whose account it was. Yachi Abu Trica and FBI for ban one say, funny background the account ni any no, edi embra, nemum Abu Trica anye. 7. Abu didn't. Before the matter went to court, they had EOCO issued a press statement claiming that Abu had scammed people of $8 million. Abu Trica lawyer chiremu say $8 million bia ni babia. Na Abu Trica company, he was charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Chesa Abu Trica want na se anscam you bia. Nemmom ejutum no jitum say obepa account aba ama mo dey receive the same amount of $50,000. I did that case we nyina aba no. No say in lifetime nyina onyan hia judge a why eager say obey extradite a citizen. Ochirima magistrate a wotena Abu Trica case no so no. Why eager say kianekin e wo say omo de Abu Trica ekone ekokopie mo woden e wo US. Mo aminkin kan na muntie. 8. There is no $8 million USD anywhere. We are here because of $13,000. 9. Now Abu was charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud. 10. Represented the magistrate with 80 pages of legal arguments tracing the history of the extradition treaty, showing that the offense of conspiracy is not an extraditable offense. 11. Now, the matter is under appeal, so I don't say more than that, except that in my whole life, I have never met a judge so eager to extradite a person before. Complete refusal to follow due process. Her mind was made up from day 1. 12. The truth is, out of 200 requests Ghanaian has received, all 200 have been extradited by our courts. 200-0. 13. If our courts are willing to follow the law, not be afraid of America, Abu's case will be 200-1. Abu Trica Lawyer Echiremu say, out of 200 requests US Ediaba Ghana say or percent on extradite ye nkrofo ye citizens be inform kwa America no. Magistrate we approve 200 requests ni nyina chese nipa ba kokrampo ni ho no ma oka say no we dey mamo extradite na say we dey case ni dey enye offense am betimi de ebe extradite no omo ma extradite omu nyina na senka if the courts are willing say be follow due process no mbedi mra no so dia enka Abu Trica case we nye case a e wo se ye gina so na de den ye de extradite no nti enka Abu Trica case we ebe the first case and I say the first request America Ediaba Abregana or turning it down or my extradited citizen in Tinkebe 200:1. Abu Trica Lawyer ka say na so oka say the whole money involved in Abu Trica case na $50,000 because of say that $50,000 no skia ede Abu Trica case we nyina aba. Now that is the same amount undercover agents they provide ye. Na impo that elderly victims yes Abu Trica afrodi omo no. Onim ba mu free mpo no omkrompo omo wo he. Nti mu ma menkan na mutie. 17C. Or secondly, all the offenses Abu is being charged with is conspiracy. Conspiracy means you agree to do something, not that you did it. He hasn't been charged with any single offense of actual doing a scam, just that he conspired to do it, but the headlines say he did it. 18. So when I say $50,000, it's because that's the only information that their own undercover agent proposed to Abu, and it was the genesis of how he was arrested. That's the evidence provided. 19. I don't even know where the elderly victims came from. We have not a single statement from any victim. 20. The only money that is exchanged hands was that 13,000 USD. 21. Now let me repeat. It's not my job to justify Abu's conduct and actions. It's my job to demand evidence. Where the evidence hasn't been produced, I can't say 50,000 minus 13,000 is equal to 8 million. Particularly when your figures don't add up. Or say, enye na dwuma ne say, obekire adwuma poti Abu Trica ne mum na dwuma ne say, obehwe amoma provide evidences e kire say ampa Abu Trica akomete wire fraud of $80 million. Na say omu fail so umbetima provided that evidence in there. That means say Abu Trica ne client na on commit such crime. Inti case e dey atu ni na false. Inti saade ya wo so omo granting the bill. Asema lawyer no choro yi na ham na me de pa. Wose mo amodwen say America na say FBI de obeka bia na right no. Mohwe na muhu say FBI enye nyankopon. Nempo Ghana for ye twere koye say omo extradite Kenoforiata ya minister emfa nembra Ghana dada nyina no. Up till now omo ya approve ye ma ye extradite Kenoforiata emba hanom na even they ask our lawyers tough questions concerning the extradition of Ken Ofori-Atta. Maminkai na munti was it 22. For those of you suffering from inferiority complex, just know that the FBI is not God. And just like Ghana police, when they make an allegation, they must prove it. It doesn't matter that Abu Trica is for you a fraudster. 23. And even if our courts are not interested asking them tough questions, just wait and see how their courts deal with the OSPS extradition request for Ken Ofori-Atta. They might even call our justice system primitive. And ne Abu Trica lawyer echo interview. Na interview no obechere say ade poti pa e mane echusi Abu Trica as a client enye se bia no nim Abu Trica na say bibi. Nemmum eye kwan a ye fa so a extradite people from Ghana to US. Na ye dey say extradite will be from US to Ghana there. America for approve your request and as omo fa nipa nemre na yemum de omo hi obi wo hanam de na ye de citizen for akwakomom and in particular na ye ade poti e ma no choose Abu Trica as a client na ohwe de o kan su de no kre na even treat we companies between UK and US nemum enye Ghana enye between Ghana and America nemum omo say so far as say we were colonized by the British people UK for there we are under that treaty. Inti I can say it's still Ghana is not a sovereign country. Ghana is not a sovereign country. We are still under our colonial masters. And yes, I think we income abusia for munka bi omunka o commence show. Se obi ni obi asan di obi a na se nipa na colonize ye na. Emra be ne e ka se nipa na colonize ye da nti ye pe wo impo ye so ye hyeda emra na se. Na impo ade nti na ye de ombetima extradite man for Africa na e de o makwa America. Nemum ye de intimi extradite obi en free America emfa ne mba Ghana. Abu Trica lawyers ene na ade poti point na e ma no choose Abu Trica as a client.
From the beginning, I've been clear as to what my interest in the matter is.
Right.
I did not know Abu Trica anywhere.
Okay.
I've never even heard of him till this issue happened. My interest has been in terms of the unequal relationship that this extradition treaty establishes, and Ghana's own role in facilitating this one-way traffic, where our requests are ignored, and we are not able to extradite anybody. But then they run roughshod here. They have FBI agents going into police cells, interrogating people on their own, as happened with Abu Trica. Like they're just running roughshod of a country that claims itself sovereign. And that's why I became interested in getting involved in this.
Abu Trica lawyer actually mu say, kwa do omo de abo ne client Abu Trica nyina say conspiracy to do this, conspiracy to do that. Now conspiracy so enye an extraditable offense.
Before the court, it's not even in the question of what is the quantum, which is the question.
Right.
The US has charged him with 2 offenses: conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy against money laundering. If you take the treaty that was signed between the US and the UK, which because we were a colony, our own Supreme Court said it continues to apply to us, it lists the offenses that are under the treaty. Conspiracy is not one of those offenses. So it's not even an extraditable offense. And so, what did we do? We sat down. It's been historical record from 1931. We went back to 1899 and showed how consistently, even in US courts, they have shown that conspiracy is not one of them, and they refuse to extradite on the basis of conspiracy. We have shown how in law, the language of participation in a crime, which is abetment, is not the same as conspiracy. We showed how other countries like Malta, which were all under the same treaty as us, have now gone into a new treaty which amends the existing one to add conspiracy, which confirms again that it was not part of the extraditable offenses.
Na magistrate a ohwemaye extradite obi edini free Ghana eko US no. Chese ono de inya de case bi anya bre na say ebia we asuma sisi ne pese yemfa no ko US. Ose mo fa no ko inya de we bre na asuma sisi pese yemfa no extradite no ko US. No wasan mo fa no ko ochimu a chese ono de obi bia ede ne be ba say US for a request say yemfa ne embra ne omon sign no mo fa no ko US bia no wasan say extradite nipa no.
This magistrate, which is the only district magistrate that does extradition cases, has a 100% record in extraditing people, looks at this and says it doesn't matter. It's a crime, it's a crime.
Strange.
It's strange to us. So that's what is before the Court of Appeal.
$8 million you crumpo I say Abu Trica fraud man for you cry. Hifa ni free buy na elderly victims you crumpo no omo wo hifa.
This 8 million derived from, and how did they become the subject of the news? Because then there's an entrapment. An FBI individual comes to him and says, "Hey, I get some cash. Can you help me find some bank account? I'll give you some of the money." He also goes and finds somebody's account and says, "Okay, this is an account you can transfer it into." And then they give him part of the money, $13,000. How did this 8 million come from and whereabouts? They themselves, the addition of the funds they bring come is not up to 8 million. One. Secondly, they are claiming that the account you brought, we went into the account and we look at the historical transactions in those accounts, which is a company account. There's over 8 million in there. And so you have counted elderly people of 8 million. First of all, where did the elderly people come from? We don't know. The setup you did was an FBI undercover agent. There was no older person involved. This is the reason why you charged him with conspiracy and not wire fraud or money laundering. Conspiracy means that the person agreed to.
Or say, now after say, Abu Trica the account in Ekoye, Emma undercover agent, Emma mu push $50,000 every 2 months, then they share $13,000 a man. Abu Trica one man undercover agent naturally message say, "Oh, Mekra, I will find some $68,000 so that it will be transferred to you." Now Abu Trica be say, "Oh, ABI into be percentage saying." Or can now undercover agent natural to one. No, I can say, "Oh." Another time now undercover agent na say catch Abu Trica be say, "Oh, me cry, I will find some $590 something thousand. Inti when I find it I will send it to your account." No be say Abu Trica be say na eno no me percentage saying. O ka say we be our percentage e be $50,000 na undercover agent na try to crime a oyan committee ya twetwe ni nyina to honom as crime our committee. And that is how the undercover agent got that 8 million figure.
The undercover agent says to Abu Trica, "I'll find some 62,000 which will come. Okay, I'll give you your share." Then they write it and add. Abu Trica scammed somebody of an additional 62,000. And if the person mentioned in the course of their conversation to him are all listed, then to arrive at these astronomical figures, I saw another gentleman, Ghanaian gentleman, who was saying, where they said 100 million. So they are padding this thing for sensational value. And that's what we are talking about here. But on the real question as to whether or not the extradition treaty, which one was challenged as to how can the colonial treaty bind us, the Supreme Court says we were subjects and so we continue to be bound by it, that we can't go into it. But as to the offenses that are listed in the treaty, which are not part of the offenses he has been charged with, this is something for the courts to pronounce on, and which is we are going to the High Court for.
Say ye will be as a suspect, and no interest in nipa na mpo commit crime no. Into wuntimi enkoka no public say nipa no a notorious fraudster and answer what you see.
So I am certain that the EOCO then want to put up a statement, notorious fraudster arrested. These are the things that we have challenged in court. Again, I do not hold brief for Abu Trica.
Right.
It's not my place to. My question for us is that one, our institutions should not be involved in the process of character assassination of suspects who have not had their day in court yet. That is an absolutely no. Two, we are in fact questioning how is the FBI in ourselves interrogating suspects in Ghana. We don't understand how that came from. And it's one of the things that we have sued the FBI directly in connection with here.
All that Abu Trica's lawyer is trying to say is that we charges are diabo Abu Trica no. And yet charges are it was like it's not an extraditable charges and I say it's not an extraditable offense. Inti kwa do amudia wa Abu Trica na mram ma ho kwan say e was say fa ni free Ghana hanam na edi no kopiem o US. E hanam ye Zack for life am atwa so aye na Zack for you. Follow me over TikTok na subscribe to my YouTube channel.